And I'm delighted as I introduce to you President of the Antigua Trades and Labor Union, Comrade Wigley George. A round of applause to him as he comes forward. Thank you, Comrade Chairman. Comrade Smith. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you to this, the 64th anniversary of Labor Day under the Antigua Labour Party and the Antigua Trades and Labor Union. This is a signal time in our country because 64 years ago, V.C. Bird and his team fought the plantocrats so that you, the workers in Antigua and Barbuda, could have a day for yourselves. The plantocrats used to take their own day, and they will load up their wagons, their buggies and their donkey carts, and they will take their roast pigs with their family, and they will celebrate. Why you, the workers in this country, at that time could not get it? Because you were mere peasants working for them, and to them you worth nothing. But the Antigua Trades and Labor Union, under the auspices of V.C. Bird, came to the rescue of the workers in this country and fought for Labor Day. They spent a whole year without it being recognized. However, in 1951, the workers decided that regardless of the penalties, they were going to sit down and take a day for themselves. 74 years after, my dear comrades, you are here still celebrating that gain by the Antigua Trades and Labor Union with V.C. Bird and Hearst and the others. You ought to give recognition to that big milestone which was set by your forefathers, V.C. Bird and the others. Let's give a bigger round of applause to those men, the 39ers. This also signaled one of the biggest rallies in this country today. Yes. And the reason for that, because after a short period of time, too long it may have been, after 10 years, you're back here with a victory under your belt for the Antigua Labour Party and the Labour Movement, knowing fully well that you would have suffered lack of jobs in this country, cannot find work to do. The ills of society has been played out around the corners and in the various communities. Young men being taken to prison. But the Antigua Labour Party under Gaston Brown this time around will make sure that they clean the streets of St. John's and the rural areas and find employment for young people to do. Make them become engaged in meaningful work in this country. No longer will we be able to depend on handouts. No longer will we be able to depend on persons exploiting you. No longer you'll have the opportunity to break in because you'll find work to do. And I said the devil find work for idle hands, and that took place over the past 10 years. My dear comrades, the Antigua Trades and Labor Union is full support of the Labour Party. And here comes the Prime Minister and leader of the country. Welcome, Mr. Prime Minister. Welcome. Again, let me continue by saying that foresight in this country will provide work. We have heard of all these projects that are going out there, undertaken by the Antigua Labour Party under the visionary Gaston Brown. We know for a fact that they were wondering what's going to happen. It's all talk. And I can recall at the budget in the Senate, I said, let us give our leader a chance. Because I believe within 6 months or by June of this year, we'll begin to see things happening. But no matter what they do and what they try to stop, Guyana Island is a must. And it is plain for us to see now. The one down at Old Road, at Bowlands, Burns Point, is also a reality. But I today would want to say, as president of the Antigua Trades and Labor Union, let me caution you. Because those jobs can be created. those of us in this country who have not worked for a long time, prepare yourselves for the positions. Make sure that you're available to take up the jobs. You cannot just sit back and allow others to take those positions from you. This is where you're born and bred, and you suffer for 10 long years. Therefore, when the needed project comes through fruition, you can go over there and take up the lucrative jobs. Prepare yourselves now. IT is running the world right now. The young people must engage and develop themselves for those positions. Learn another language. You see what is happening around us. The different entities that are to be taken up in Antigua and Barbuda, they're going to need persons who can speak German, Spanish, you name them. They are the ones who are going to take up these positions in those places. You also need to have under your belt certificate that can lead you into those lucrative positions. Therefore, I am saying to you, from a trade union point of view, go and qualify yourselves now. So by the time things comes around, you will be able to move into those positions. Young people, my fellow comrades, those of you on the corner, the Honorable Gaston Brown said some time ago, clean off your tools and get ready. It is now before us. You should get ready. Because no longer will we allow in this country persons on the sidewalks, persons on the corners. There's no time anymore for laziness, but time to get the work done. Productivity must be the hallmark of this nation. We must be an equipped nation to make sure that we can become a Mecca in the Caribbean, and according to the PM, an economic powerhouse. All of the things that we are seeing happening are directly under the belt of Gaston Brown for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And we must give God credit that we have now seen a new light, in a new day, that whatever happens in this country, you will be able to stand proud one of these days and resound that sound that was called some time ago under VC. Back to work with labor. Back to work with labor. My dear comrades, there are certain things that I must touch on this morning. When it comes to laws being passed, measures being taken, it would appear that there are some persons in various departments, whether in government or private, who do not wish to adhere to the law. The minimum wage was just passed. And do you believe there are persons who are still paying workers $300 a week? When that comes after this Labor Day celebration to your doors, be sure that the AT&LU will be wreaking havoc on those of you who are paying workers less than what the law says. Those of you who are allowing workers to work 12 hours a day without overtime, stop that practice now and pay the workers every cent of overtime, and they must go and claim it. Those of you who, like today, who did not show up for work, but you work your scheduled work day before and the scheduled work day after tomorrow, after today, you are to be paid for the day. There is no law in this country that says if you do not work on a public holiday, you should not get paid. Do not allow them to cheat you anymore. You, the workers, must stand up and do not be afraid. This is a Labour government in power, and a Labour government means it's protection for workers. It was built on the sweat and tears of our forefathers. It was built on your backs, and now you have an opportunity. Do not settle for less. Do not settle for less. Stand up. Bear the weight. Make sure you go out there and produce. And stand up for your parliamentary representative. Represent them well. Those of you who they have given jobs, make them proud. Take ownership of the appointments you get and continue to upgrade yourselves and develop yourselves. We cannot preach that anymore. It's something that you must embrace. Excellence must be the hallmark. Efficient government must be the hallmark. And I know that the Honorable Gaston Brown and his team will not settle for less than that. Comrades, as we celebrate today, celebrate a victory for the Antigua Labour Party and by extension, the Antigua Trades and Labor Union and the workers. Let me say to you that once we have together salvaged this country, we are going to continue on that rescue program, rebuilding together the Antigua Trades and Labor Union and the Antigua Labour Party. Let us go down and enjoy ourselves. Let us give support to Andy Gaston Brown and his government. And I want to tell you that today, still fresh as ever among us, the Honorable Emeritus Leader and as great stalwart of this nation, the Honorable Lester Brian Bird, who still gives support to the party and to his men. Long live the Antigua Trades and Labor Union. Long live the workers' movement. Long live the Antigua Labour Party. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.